Getting waived is crazy because, like, what do you do after you get waived?
Kennedy Carter, who assaulted Caitlin Clark.
She is no longer in the league because she not only got let go by the Chicago Sky, she has been let go by the New York Liberty, and she's crying online about
Diamond DeShields, the same guy that severely blindsided Caitlin Clark in one of the roughest games, finally appeared. Seasonal plays.
Caitlin Clark is trying to cut in this position right here, and Diamond DeShields just body checks her. Like, it's a foul. This sequence of play was wild. Absolutely, absolutely wild.
Has been suspended by the NBA, not just placed on a suspended blacklist.
Caitlin Clark gets hit from behind. How bad, egregious it was from Diamond DeShields. And Caitlin Clark jumps up and runs away from Diamond DeShields.
Her career is essentially finished. The player who formerly strutted into games with anger and swagger is now crying online, and no organization is permitted to sign her.
the league is getting rid of the Caitlin Clark haters. Teaching their current team better move on eggshells, bro. She's the only one left. She is no longer in the league, crying online about
Stuck with her possessions, unemployed, and frantically attempting to find a way home due to a single, careless act that attacked the most valuable athlete this league has ever seen.
Kennedy Carter assaults Caitlin Clark on the court. That's Kennedy Carter. That was Caitlin Clark. She'll run up behind her. She's going to call her a bitch right here, and she's going to viciously slam Caitlin Clark to the floor. What is going on in this league?
We're breaking down the hit, the backlash, and the stunning fall of a once promising player who allowed hate to get in the way of her career. If you support Caitlin Clark, type Caitlin Go 100% in the comments right now. This is not just another roster move. The NBA is making a statement. You come for Caitlin Clark and you're done. Caitlin Clark is not happy with this at all, but the real question is, why did it take this long and who might be next?
Caitlin Clark is not happy at all with this.
Let's pour love for CC into this video. The event that altered everything was directed specifically at Caitlin Clark and resulted from pure frustration rather than a tense rivalry or a botched basketball play.
Caitlin Clark is the cash cow in this league. She is the needle mover.
During a regular season game between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, Diamond DeShields performed a move that many fans quickly criticized as being ill-considered, filthy, and totally inappropriate.
Man, oh man, when Caitlin Clark does something, everybody celebrates. When Caitlin Clark does something, there is no jealousy.
As the Fever was dominating the game with only a few minutes remaining, the Shields charged directly into Caitlin Clark, who had her shoulder down and her eyes locked with Cain.
Caitlin Clark played against the Chicago Sky and she got cheap shotted, and there is a sequence of plays that's crazy, and it leads to Caitlin Clark telling her team, is it Erica Wheeler, that she wanted to fight Diamond DeShields.
It made aggressive, direct contact. The moment was obvious. There was no sincere attempt to make a play with the ball. Diamond was not attempting to play defense. Rather, she was attempting to convey a message, and it wasn't just the hit that infuriated the audience. It was also the way she followed up after flattening Clark to the ground. The Shields pretended that everything had happened by accident, reaching down and offering a fictitious hand to help Clark get back up as though she had no idea how her body had collided so violently with the league's biggest star, but no one was buying it. Not even the fans, analysts, or replay cameras. Fans and analysts quickly called it what it was as social media exploded that night and videos of the hit went viral.
Caitlin Clark is trying to cut in this position right here, and Diamond DeShields just body checks her. Like, it's a foul. This sequence of play was wild. Absolutely, absolutely wild.
A deliberate assault. She's a good actress, but you don't just accidentally run someone over like that, said Adrian Ross, a well-known voice in women's basketball, in response to the lack of sportsmanship. Others noted that although Clark had previously been attacked on the court, many thought this was the most obvious attack. Some even claimed it was worse than the notorious Kennedy Carter cheap shot from earlier in the season.
She assaulted Caitlin Clark on the court right before Caitlin Clark came off the court with 3:52 left.
And the fans didn't forget that the internet didn't let it slide. Every angle of that hit was replayed, dissected, and criticized, and the narrative started to shift. If the WNBA couldn't protect its biggest draw, its ratings magnet, its ticket seller, then who was really in charge? This wasn't just a missed call. It was a moment that demanded accountability, and as we'll see in the next part, accountability finally caught up to Diamond DeShields. Surprisingly, there was no ejection, no flagrant foul, and no immediate suspension.
Diamond DeShields actually getting waived from the Connecticut Sun just one day prior to tomorrow's May 16th WNBA's 2025 season tip-off. She looks heartbroken and in pain, with the news of her being waived from the Connecticut Sun.
Getting waived is crazy because, what do you do after you get waived? I got all my stuff up here that I drove in a rental car from Atlanta, and now I have to drive all my stuff back to Atlanta, but I can't seem to find a rental car because none are available anywhere. So I need to figure out how I'm going to get my stuff back to Atlanta. The team will ship 3 to 5 boxes, but I have more than 3 to 5 boxes worth of stuff.
If you are not producing, if you're not giving them what they need, if you're not putting them stats up, if you ain't putting up no numbers, you're going to be out of a job. Again, look what just happened to Haley Jones. She just was on Instagram the other day, excited about closing on a home. The very next day, the Atlanta Dream just cut her.
For a time, it appeared as though Diamond DeShields had escaped punishment in the most heinous manner imaginable. No technical, no suspension, no fine, but behind the scenes, time was running out and the walls were closing in quickly because what happened next wasn't just a disciplinary slap on the wrist. It was a career-ending blow. After the attack on Caitlin Clark, Diamond's role with the Chicago Sky was quickly diminished. She was quietly let go with no press conference, no farewell statement, just gone. Then, in a shocking turn of events, the New York Liberty picked her up for a second chance, but that door slammed shut even faster. When the Connecticut Sun brought her in later, fans thought perhaps she would get one last chance, but just one day before the 2025 season began, she was abruptly waived, and this time it wasn't just another cut, it felt permanent. What followed was one of the most telling and emotional moments we've seen this season. Diamond took to social media not with an angry tirade, but with a broken, quiet desperation.
Caitlin Clark played against the Chicago Sky and she got cheap shotted, and there is a sequence of plays that's crazy, and it leads to Caitlin Clark telling her team, is it Erica Wheeler, that she wanted to fight Diamond DeShields.
She shared a video of herself in her car with all of her possessions, looking numb, heartbroken, and defeated. She described how she had driven up from Atlanta with a rental car, eager to play for the Sun, only to be dropped off right before opening night. She claimed that she couldn't even find a rental to drive her belongings back, adding, "The team will ship 3 to 5 boxes, but I've got way more than that." The league never released an official statement announcing her suspension, but the message was loud and clear: no team is permitted to pick her up. She has been effectively blacklisted. It was the voice of someone who had just realized their dream had slipped away, not in a blaze of glory, but in complete silence.
WNBA commissioner playing in house with these Caitlin Clark haters.
What some are calling a quiet lifetime ban has now become the most public downfall of a WNBA player in recent memory, and it's not just fans noticing, even fellow players and commentators are speaking out, one commentator said. She's the latest one they're clearing house. The Caitlin Clark haters are being let out one by one, and if you pay close attention, you can see that Kennedy Carter has left.
As the lovely Lee Ross always says, women in sports do not want to see other women in sports succeed. It's just the way they're built.
Diamond DeShields now that Kennedy Carter is no longer there. This isn't a coincidence. Rather, it's a pattern, and Diamond's decline from grace is the clearest indication. Despite everything, she went from being a rising star to making national headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her attack on Caitlin Clark, for which she never issued a public apology, is now the turning point in her career, not the points she scored or the team she played for, but that one ill-considered shot and the decisive blow that social media fans couldn't contain her.
Somebody said that the Diamond DeShields flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark was more dangerous than the Kennedy Carter one.
One user commented, "She's going to cry in the car," as Diamond sobbed about her possessions and inquired about how she would return to Atlanta. And more person wrote, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." There wasn't much pity because, to many, this wasn't simply one incident. Rather, it represented a hostile society that had now reached a breaking point. Even if Diamond DeShields isn't formally out for life, it's possible that the WNBA has already drawn a line and her name is already inscribed on the wrong side of it. Even though Diamond DeShields is no longer with us, her narrative is only the beginning. Her demise reveals a bigger problem that has been simmering beneath the WNBA for months, a volatile mixture of power dynamics, envy, and hatred that eventually erupted when Caitlin Clark joined the league.
Diamond DeShields lays out Caitlin Clark because all the Sky's untalented women is what they have left is racist rage.
Let's face it, Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She changed everything. She brought in record attendance, sold-out arenas, and a national spotlight that the league had never experienced before. But with that attention came tension and something more personal and toxic. From the start, it seemed like some players saw Caitlin as a threat rather than a teammate or rival. She was a white player from Iowa who entered the league and immediately became its face, which didn't sit well with everyone. What began as subtle shade quickly turned into hard fouls, social media jabs, and whispers. Locker room animosity when the league decided enough was enough. Diamond DeShields was the one who started the altercation and ended up in the crosshairs. But here's the true twist. While fans called for protection and the media brought attention to the attacks, the NBA never publicly supported Caitlin, and league officials said nothing. Kathy Angelbert. The commissioner was criticized repeatedly for failing to address the obvious targeting of the league's most valued players, and fans and observers started to speculate that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver needed to step in behind the scenes because the situation was getting out of hand.
When's the last time you didn't see Caitlin Clark talking about a teammate? When's the last time you saw Caitlin Clark talking about herself or any of the accomplishments that she has had? Let me give you the answer to that. Never! That's why their team has gotten good. She could have been an egomaniac. Everybody in the league knows that she is the league right now. Are you kidding me?
Lastly, there is the difficult but inevitable topic of race. Black players have been involved in some of Caitlin's most violent on-court altercations, and both black and white commentators have observed the trend. Meanwhile, Clark, a white player in a league with a large black player base, is being attacked, heckled, and shunned while also raising the league's profile.
Diamond DeShields actually getting waived from the Connecticut Sun just one day prior to tomorrow's May 16th WNBA 2025 season tip-off. She looked heartbroken and in pain, with the news of her being waived from the Connecticut Sun.
Getting waived is crazy because, what do you do after you get waived? I got all my stuff up here that I drove in a rental car from Atlanta, and now I have to drive all my stuff back to Atlanta, but I can't seem to find a rental car because none are available anywhere. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna get my stuff back to Atlanta. The team will ship 3 to 5 boxes, but I have more than 3 to 5 boxes worth of stuff.
If you are not producing, if you're not giving them what they need, if you're not putting them stats up, if you ain't putting up no numbers, you're going to be out of a job. Again, look what just happened to Haley Jones. She just was on Instagram the other day, excited about closing on a home. The very next day, the Atlanta Dream just cut her.
The difference is,
most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game. She won Rookie of the Month 4 times, Eastern Conference Player of the Week, League 3 times, single season rookie record for assists, single season rookie record for three-pointers, single game record for assists, 19, franchise record for most double-doubles, three-pointers, career 10 or more assists in a game, franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games, most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000.
Lastly, there is the difficult but inevitable topic of race. Black players have been involved in some of Caitlyn's most violent on-court altercations, and both black and white commentators have observed the trend.